piece in the paper, let's see, a couple of weeks ago, and it was Maths and Kids. Let's see where we are here. Calculating beyond their years. And it's saying that more high school students are learning higher grade maths than ever before. That they have a mind that is much more acceptable to these different types of maths, calculus, and to much more technical understandings, going beyond some of their teachers. This doesn't surprise me. They're coming with different minds. I've been saying this for a long time. The indigo children and the crystal children, rainbow children. All that, for the last 20 years, the new generation of children are coming in with totally different mindsets and understandings. Back in 1996, 97, 98, I was the director of a foster grandparent program in Missouri. That's a federally funded agency mentors income-specific seniors with children in all different locations. And I happened to have 100 volunteers that worked in 43 work sites in 4 counties. Let me tell you a little story that was given to me one day that sort of illustrates some of these things and why I have always been pushing that education needs to look at the minds of children differently. At an in-service, one of my grandmas, they often go and complain, oh, these children are rude, they don't listen, they don't pay attention, they don't do their work, they don't do this, they don't do that. And of course, we hear it over and over again. But one day, this one grandma, Sue, she said, I've got a problem. This child, who I'm in charge of, won't do his maths. He keeps on saying he's got to do maths by the stars, and he says, I don't know what to do. So in my little ramblings, all of a sudden all these words come out of my mouth. I said, did you ask him what he meant? And she says, no. I said, well, ask him what he means. So the next day I get a phone call, and she said, I asked him. I said, what happened? And she said, he started to describe doing the maths by the stars. And she said, I got the maths paper, the math problem, and how I'd explained it earlier to her, I said, maybe his mind sees 2 plus 2 plus 2, as an example, the numbers on a piece of paper. Maybe to his mind, they're like Greek letters to us, that they mean nothing. There's no connection because his mind is not connecting with them. I said, see, we had numbers, things being done by the stars way, way, way long before computers. Copernicus, Galileo, all of the ancient Aristotle, Socrates, they all used the stars as their guides of their information source. I said, ask him. So she came back and said, well, he gets the piece of paper with a math problem. We get another piece of paper, pencil, and he starts doing these little dots and dashes on this piece of paper and explaining a constellation in association with the maths problem that she already put out. This young man was 10 years old, and he's in 4th grade. At the end of it, I said to her, did she get the answer right? And she said, yes. And she said, how do you know that? And he says, well, I study astronomy. I'm very interested in astronomy and the stars and the planets. And she proceeded to tell her about the speed of light, speed of sound, the planets, and all sorts of things. This lady was 76 years old, and she had lived in rural mid-Missouri all her life. And these were subjects that had not come across her path too much, I would say. She was fascinated. He said that when his dad gets lost, driving at night, and some days he said, sometimes we were driving out in the country and my dad would get lost. He couldn't, had terrible direction. He said, I'd find my way back by the stars. I went, really? I said, does this teacher know? And she says, oh, no. She wouldn't understand. This 10-year-old 4th grader is in a learning disability class. This 10-year-old 4th grader his mind works totally differently to the basic maths that is on the page. Obviously, he has knowledge that is far greater than his teacher, that he has knowledge that is being suppressed. He doesn't know what to do with it, and he doesn't know where to put it. But it's in the everyday math that he's been given that is not fulfilling his potential. Perhaps, if you look at the way I look at soul, which is our driving force, perhaps he has some little soul snowflakes of Copernicus, Galileo, Leonardo, or Einstein, maybe one or two, these little fractions of information, of memory, that is taking him into the new times. Perhaps all of these young people have these aspects that are moving us into the new times, and we are having to jump ahead and out of the way of the old stuff. Think about it. Instead of trying to mold the minds into what was, perhaps we should be allowed to have the minds flourish and bloom into what is and what will be. Food for thought.